Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's live stream broadcast. We are here awaiting the landfall of Milton here, which is pretty much just about to happen here. So wanted to go live this evening. We can see exactly basically where the center of the storm is here. Looking like it's going to be making landfall here pretty much right near Sarasota, Florida this evening, just south of Bradenton, Florida. Really starting to see the center of this circulation now just about to come on shore here, probably in the next, I'd say, 20 or 30 minutes or so. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome to the live stream. If you're here on YouTube, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining us this evening as we're going to be covering the impacts here of Hurricane Milton this evening. We'll be getting a new update here, 8 o'clock advisory, just about to come out this evening. So, Edward, Rhonda Foster sent you. Thank you for joining me this evening. Folks, we've got a major hurricane here making landfall across much of Florida this evening. And new advisory now just coming out here for Hurricane Milton. As of the 8 p.m. advisory, it still is a Category 3 hurricane. Sustained winds are at about 120 miles per hour here is what they're showing us with this. So, again, landfall is imminent here within, we're looking at the live radar picture here that you can see on your screen. And just about to come in here, pretty much right over the Sarasota area. So we are getting absolutely lashed in Sarasota here this evening. We are seeing highest inundations likely going to be 10 feet or greater near the coast of Sarasota. And not only is the surge 10 feet, but we're also looking at wave levels on top of that. Water levels are rapidly rising on top of that this evening as well. Excellent. You can go to surgecams.com and they've got some pretty insane video there. That's Brett Adair and his group. But it's been absolutely an insane day, really. Tornado outbreak. Now we're getting the what's left of, I guess, the eye wall, you could say, of Milton here coming in pretty much right over the Bradenton Beach area here. We can see. So it's a fairly large section here. So here near Venice Beach, I think that's where some of the worst surge likely is occurring right now here. Venice Beach up toward Gulf Gate Estates and South Sarasota with that onshore flow here, especially around Sarasota. Longboat Key absolutely getting hammered right now with the northern eye wall, and even here all the way up into St. Petersburg, really getting in on that northern section here. Longboat Key, South Bradenton. Oh, this is basically all moving in that direction. Still kind of seeing it moving off to the northeast. So real quick here, let me transition us over to the latest information here from the National Hurricane Center that we can see here. So again, still Category 3 here at landfall. Landfall imminent. We were just looking at that on the radar. And we are seeing, let me get here. 120 mile per hour winds. Still, again, like I was saying, moving east-northeast now at 15 miles per hour. So it is still have that northward component. This is going to come very close to bringing that eye wall right just south of the Tampa Bay area is the current thinking here. And we have still significant amounts of rainfall still to come across the area, another 8 to 12 inches, especially from Tampa Bay over to Clearwater, over toward Plant City and those areas. A lot of rain still to come here with this that we are looking at. And look at the satellite imagery. Here it is making landfall right over Florida. That is that's what we're seeing there. Not an eye anymore, but still quite a huge storm. You can see really all the way up here into southeast Georgia, all the way down to almost to basically running right along Alligator Alley. Edward, where are you watching from this evening? Folks, drop a comment. Let me know where you guys are watching from this evening. If you have any questions, especially if we know of anyone that is in the greater Tampa Bay area. I have a lot of friends that are there. I'm not sure. I know my friend Zach had messaged me earlier. He is in Plant City, Florida. And the last I heard from him was at 5:41 is when they lost power. So that was just about 2.5 hours ago. And that's in Plant City, well inland. So I'm sure the power outages right now are absolutely phenomenal. Let's check in on that. Yeah, we're seeing right now in Florida over 500,000 people here without power that we can see here in Florida. So we're really starting to see, and again, this is well away from where the storm's coming in here. Look at Hernando County, a large percentage of Hernando County without power. Hillsborough County, nearly 65,000 people there in Hillsborough County. Pinellas County, we're talking almost 100,000 people here in Pinellas County as well there in Florida. So these power outages, we're going to see these numbers really continue to rise here over the next couple of hours as Milton continues to make its approach here to the coast of Florida. Landfall again here probably within the next, I'd say basically the next 5-10 minutes here. It's basically there, just coming into Sarasota again. Let me show you this here again. There it is. That is the basically what's left of the eye of the storm right here, just now coming into Sarasota. And we'll probably get an update here any minute now saying that landfall has officially happened, which interestingly enough, this is earlier than we were initially forecasting, just because again, it kind of had a pretty quick speed moving about it. But we'll definitely likely see landfall here rather soon. I'm going to check here my Twitter feed. Well, X, I should say X. Still calling it Twitter over here, you know? Yeah, Sarasota, we're seeing a lot of power flashes here. I mean, this is Ben McMillan here that we're looking at here. Looking at some of these power flashes here. Wow. Edward, I'm over here in Atlanta, Georgia, near Stone Mountain area. Yeah, there's just the power flashes here around Sarasota. Absolutely phenomenal. Ben McMillan there. Starting to see quite a bit of activity here. Yeah. Icyclone. Reed Timmer posting. Yeah, these were some of the strong tornadoes that we saw earlier today as well. It's been a crazy day all across Florida today. I mean, we've had the tornado outbreak. We have had, obviously now with the landfalling hurricanes and storm surge and everything like that. Absolutely an unbelievable day. I mean, look at this, man. This was earlier at the bridge there in Florida of that tornado rolling through here. Just unreal. There in Lee County, Florida. This is from earlier, just showing that tornado that just came out of nowhere. Absolutely came out of nowhere. All right, let's check our latest numbers here. We're over that 500,000 mark now. 514,000 customers officially without power across Florida. Even here on the East Coast, you can see here Indian River. These counties here, Indian River, St. Lucie County, Martin County. A lot of these power outages are likely from those tornadoes that we saw earlier this evening. So, yeah, exactly, Dan. Exactly. All of Florida's bad weather, he's commenting here on YouTube, is happening here basically in 4 days, you know. Just unbelievable. And here it comes, you know, landfall basically happening here as we're seeing it here on the radar right now here on radar scope. And let's take a look at some of these velocities that we're seeing as well, because I do kind of want to highlight that. So let's flip this over to our velocities. And we can see here, looking at some of these winds here, yeah, well up over 95. I mean, some of these oranges here. We can see some of these. Yeah, there's some hundreds in there, over 101 right there. 100.7. So, absolutely unreal. Insurance rates in Florida. Oh, yeah. Really all across the country, you know. Insurance rates are just going to be absolutely insane with this. So, yeah, definitely still. And again, this level here of winds. Let me change the tilt. Let's see what we're a bit higher up, you know. We'll probably even see some. Oh, yeah, 110. I saw 110 there briefly. So, and then over here on that onshore flow, I mean, yeah, 108.5, 110. So they're definitely doing pretty well here with the intensity forecast. So this is here just south. Let's, sorry, zoomed in really far there. I mean, we're basically about to experience that wind shift there in Sarasota. But yeah, we definitely have sustained winds likely over 100 miles per hour right along that eye wall. We're even seeing a mesocyclone there again. So currently still have 8 flash flood warnings across Florida this evening. Yes, I did. I was with her at Stone Mountain Park. And now this is what I'm doing here. Yeah, so Bradenton right now is really getting in, or just west of Bradenton here. Holmes Beach, likely getting winds sustained over 100 miles per hour right now. Rob, he's one of our team members. He is down here in Brandon, Florida, in that area. He's probably getting 50 to 60 mile per hour winds right now where he's at. Let's go back to the reflectivity. Yeah, this is just coming in here right around Sarasota right now, folks. So landfall just about to take place here near Sarasota, Florida, Longboat Key, right on that northern eye wall right now. Seeing some absolutely insane 100+ mile per hour sustained winds there, I am sure. And again, there has been that extreme wind warning that we've seen earlier for portions that it did include Tampa. And just look how big the storm is. Going all the way up here to Gainesville. You can see all these green boxes here. These are all the different flash flood warnings that we've got in place. So pretty much basically all of central Florida here right now under flash flood warnings. And again, that's because we're expecting to see another 8 to 12 inches of rain here through the evening into the overnight hours as Milton moves across. It's been slowing down a little bit. It's still moving at about 15 miles per hour across Florida. Melody on Facebook talking about a second eye wall forming. Yeah, this is a you kind of in a sense you're talking right here basically. This is a second ring and then kind of down here. So, but it's really dry here. You can see on the south and southeast side, really no precipitation. So it has been a open system really all evening long since it started to weak. Hey Rob, great to see that you're on here, buddy. Rob is in Plant City, Florida here on YouTube. How are things? Drop a comment and let us know, how are you holding up? Do you still have power where you are at? I'm gonna hop on Zello real quick, see if we can get Rob here on Zello. I'm not sure if he has any sort of internet connectivity or not. So let's see if we can get Rob here on Zello. His comms may be limited. Hey Rob, are you getting any signal here on Zello? I see that you're online, it's showing, but not sure if you're actually able to connect or not. But if you are, I saw your message in on the YouTube live stream, so just wanted to reach out, see if we could get you on here.
Hey, Joey.
Hey Rob, I've got you here on our YouTube live stream. Can you tell the folks here that are watching on our YouTube live stream what conditions are like there for you in Florida right now?
Yeah, it's very windy. We actually just had a power flash here a few minutes ago. Winds have been very up and down, very gusty, up to about 55, 60 mile per hour gusts, sustained about 25 to 30 at this time. Still under a high wind warning, as you probably already said, until 9:30, and then also under hurricane warning until further notice.
10-4, and that kind of matches up with what we were looking at earlier here on the velocities. So you said you saw some power flashes earlier, so hopefully you'll, I don't know how much longer you'll maintain power, but I'm really glad to hear. Have you had any flooding there at all this evening yet that you're aware of? So folks, if you're just joining on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Right now we are talking to Rob Salso, EWV team member here that is in Brandon, Florida, just on the east side of Tampa Bay. has seen power
Yes,
flashes.
we have had some localized flooding, downpours, of course. We're expected to have another 3 to 5 inches of rain, possibly even more, with Ixia totals and things like that. So I think we're also under a flash flood warning right now as well. So keep an eye on that. And currently right now we've had about almost 4 inches of rain just today. Looking to get some more, possibly some more flooding down the streams and the rivers and all that too.
Yeah, 10-4. I've got your basic area there on the radar here showing the rainfall totals. And yeah, I'm seeing right now getting close to 6 inches of rain there is there in Brandon. Really little over 5.5 inches is what the radar is showing. And yeah, definitely here off to the west. This is what we're talking about, guys. We're already seeing some places with over a foot of rain here just offshore. And even down here on the south side of St. Pete, already seeing here along the coast here, St. Pete Beach, showing 13 inches of rain so far. So definitely be safe out there, Rob. There's a lot more rain that is headed your way here in the next couple of hours.
Copy that, Joey. With that, I'm going to get off here. If any other questions, please let me know. Everybody who's out there listening, I'm Rob. Stay safe.
Thanks, Rob. So, folks, yeah, that was Rob Salso. He is one of our folks here on EWV. So glad to see that he's doing well. But I mean, this is a multifaceted storm, as you are seeing. Not only are we talking the storm surge going on, but we also have these immense flooding rains here that are really coming into places like St. Pete, up toward Tampa, even over here toward Lakeland. I mean, just absolutely flooding rains. That's why we've got all these flash flood warnings going on as well. Everyone that is here on the live stream, I'm trying to kind of bounce back and forth here between my Facebook Live and my YouTube Live as well. So trying to keep up with all your guys' comments. But absolutely phenomenal here. As Milton makes landfall here in the Sarasota area, Longboat Key, landfall taking place here this evening here at about 8:20 p.m. right now, local time, Eastern time there in Florida. Absolutely intense here. Absolutely intense. There were a ton of them earlier. Edward asked, why have all the tornado warnings gone away? There were a ton of them earlier. Really, where we were seeing a lot are in those outside feeder bands of the storm. Let me come back here. I'll kind of zoom this out. So basically, these feeder bands, which are now out here over the Atlantic Ocean, that we see here, this is where we were seeing all those tornado warnings earlier, basically supercellular band of storms that was moving across basically here the east coast of Florida. Since it's moved off storm, still definitely the threat for some more tornadoes, especially with some of these storms here up near the Titusville coming up toward Daytona Beach. Have to keep an eye on those. Any one of those could really spin up at any moment in time, but these storms here were the ones earlier, a couple hours ago, that we had all those tornado warnings pretty much lighting up like a Christmas tree across the eastern side of Florida. But since all of these have now moved offshore, interesting to see if some of these will kind of start affecting even the northwestern Bahamas this evening. And maybe they'll get some water. I'm sure some of these are still producing water spouts and things of that nature. But that hopefully answers your question there, Edward. Great question. Great question. And we could still see some more. We see, could see some more storms kind of pop up here. We'll have to kind of watch these areas, see if we get any significant storms to pop up. But definitely the tornado threat is diminishing. I think that's why they only put that tornado watch out till 9 o'clock this evening there for Florida. Because now obviously the feeder bands there have moved offshore of Florida, so therefore the tornado threat is a bit lower. You still can get spin-up tornadoes, even here around the eye wall. That does happen every now and then, where you'll get one of those brief mesovortex tornadoes kind of wrapping around the eye wall. We've seen that, especially with some of these stronger storms. That can actually occur. And again, just a broad picture here for you of Milton here. And I mean, this is a huge storm. We've seen it really double in size, pretty much just like they've said. It'll continue to kind of expand over the next few hours. So a lot of heavy rainfall, tropical storm force winds occurring really all the way up to the Georgia border this evening. So definitely a life-threatening situation right now, though, in the coastal communities here of Sarasota, Gulf Gate Estate, Siesta Key, Longboat Key, all the way up into Bradenton, Memphis. We'll even see this potentially coming up toward the greater Sunset area. Hopefully the radar kind of holds up, because this here is basically where the Tampa Bay radar is. It sits basically right in here, and we've got our eye pretty much right about here right now, and this is kind of moving off in this general direction of the east-northeast that you can see. So depending on how close this eye wall, if it gets within this radar range, that could very potentially knock out the Tampa Bay radar, which would hinder our ability to be able to see some of what's going on there, at least from that perspective. Now, let's take a look here. Speaking of radars, I do kind of want to flip over so you can see earlier what we were talking about there, Edward. These are all those storms, and you can even still see all these tornado vortex signatures on these storms over the ocean. I'm sure it's pretty insane water spouts out here with some of these storms. And we're still going to have to keep an eye on some of these storms down here near Miami, that could kind of be coming in for any tornadic potential with any of those as well. But flooding rainfall, I think, is definitely about to become a huge concern here across much of Florida with, again, this is still to come, not what's already fallen. All this orange area that you see, we're talking 8 to 12 inches. Here, up near, it's probably close to the Daytona Beach area, I'd say. Let's see here. Yeah, that's kind of up near Daytona Beach, that area where the red dot is, right in here. We're looking at 12 to possibly 16 inches of rain there, potential. Orlando, we're still looking at another 4 to 6 inches of rain. And it is a pretty tight gradient that we can see here. And that's really because if you are south of the storm, right? Excellent point. And if you are south of the storm, not much rainfall. If you're on the northern side of the storm, a whole ton of rainfall. So Dan just mentioned that it's interesting seeing the water recorded in the backside of the storm. And this is going to be something we're going to have to watch right now with this, with the winds here. We're basically seeing east northeasterly winds kind of coming here. So some of the worst surge here in Tampa Bay is probably occurring somewhere around here, Feather Sound over toward this region, pushing all that water in the bay onshore. We're also seeing a good push of water probably down here to the east side of St. Petersburg. Some of that water piling up there as well. Yeah, it's receding. Yep, out of from the backside of the storm. And again, folks, Dan, where are you? Drop a link to where you're watching that at here in the chat for folks. I think that would be interesting to see. I know surgecams.com has some different things that you can see. I wonder if if I can see. Let's go to Fox 13. I'm sure they've got some. Let's check out downtown Tampa here. Yeah, it's definitely looking pretty rough there for sure. It's tough to see though with it being so dark. Oh, here we go. They actually have a time lapse down here. That's from earlier though. Lido Key, completely black. Interesting. Let's check here on Twitter. I'm sure we've... Wow. There's some video from earlier there in St. Lucie County. Refresh this. Wow. Okay, so very impressive. We went from 514,000 now up to 661,000 customers without power here just in about the last 10 minutes. So we are now approaching the 750,000 mark of customers without power here in Florida. 661. Wow. A lot of these cameras, I'm sure, are down. Yeah, like this one here is down. Wow, that's I-75 there, mile marker 164. So yeah, that's kind of down there. Man, you can see the wind just rocking that camera there. Surprised there's still power there. In all honesty, that's insane. See what we can get here to Sarasota County. Yeah, no power here. Kings Highway. Oh, let me get the video. There we go. And you see just blackness there. Wow. Those are down. Yorkshire Street, Toledo Blade Boulevard, Sumter Boulevard. I think this is out near Fort Sumter. Henry Ponce de Leon. Trying to see if we can find a good camera here. Yeah, Laurel Road there's just blasted. 661, let's do a quick refresh. Okay, still 661. Here. Wow, I mean, yeah, it's basically coming ashore here right now. It almost looks like the northern eyewalls now. It is definitely still moving northeast. There's no doubt about that. Longboat Key now coming into the clearing. The worst of it's coming up toward the downtown Bradenton area right now. And again, all these flash flood warnings continue. And we have got to keep an eye on those. See, are these little areas of rotation here showing up on the radar. Max sustained winds at landfall. Estimated, 120 miles per hour. Yeah. Well, like I was showing you, even when we were seeing in the velocities there, I was seeing winds of 110 miles per hour just above the surface with my inspector tool here. And some of these winds here, you know. And then also here, see right there, look at that, 109. And then even here, oh yeah, there you go. I saw 120, 116, 132. Yeah, see, this is just above here. This is northwest of Arcadia, and these winds now coming on shore. This is pretty much moving north, which will be kind of moving north and wrapping around. which will basically be headed basically for the Bradenton, Florida area there. Bradenton, Sarasota, this huge band of really strong winds. Yeah, 130, 132. See that on my on the inspector tool, you can kind of pick up some of that. Those are some serious numbers there. Look at this storm surge that is coming in here into Venice, Florida. That is really something else there. That's the storm surge pouring into Venice, Florida there. And just to put that in perspective here, so that is basically right here, Venice Beach. Right in here, Venice, Florida. And yeah, so that wind right there is just surging north right here along the coast. So yeah, Venice, probably down to Englewood, Grove City. Some of those areas, I'm sure, are getting hammered. Even up here toward Osprey, Florida, all this onshore flow that we have coming in with these winds. Just piling up the storm surge. Uh-oh. Thank you, Austin and Allie. Thanks for tuning in this evening. So let's take a little bit of a wider look. We were looking at, so again, this is making landfall right now just outside of Sarasota, Florida, Venice Beach. But we've got big problems, not just along the coast. We actually have major problems all the way inland, stretching from Tampa all the way up through the Orlando region. All these flash flood warnings that we have issued. We're expecting a wide swath area of another 8 to 12 inches of rain, pretty much from just Tampa to just north of Orlando here. Places like Claremont, Oconee, even up here toward Daytona Beach, all those places. Daytona Beach, I honestly could see over a foot of rain, another foot of rain, before this is all said and done. So, folks need to be taking these flash flood warnings seriously. Monitor your local situation there for rapidly rising floodwaters. Make sure also that you are in an interior room away from windows. Have a plan to, if something does happen, to be able to reach out to someone, get the word out, and different things like that. Really hoping for the best for these people down here. But I think the inland flooding potential, as this kind of does slow down as it moves across, it's really going to be all night long. This here, what we're seeing now over downtown Tampa with this heavy band of storms here, pretty much setting right up over the I-4 corridor from Lakeland all the way down to Tampa, back down to St. Pete. Some of these rainfall estimates here, let's see what we're looking at here in the last hour. Yeah, see this purple band? That's 2 inches of rain here just in the last hour. Now, pretty much coming right into downtown, or just south of downtown St. Petersburg, pretty much right over Tampa Bay, but a large area that have already received 1 inch per hour rates. And we're going to be seeing this intense rain continue here through the evening and into tomorrow morning. So let's come back here to our reflectivity. So again, landfall right here near Sarasota, happening right now as we speak here. Yeah, you can basically see that the center of the storm is basically this. That's basically the center of the storm there, pretty much right here, moving over Sarasota. And this is basically moving off to the east-northeast in this general direction, wraparound moisture. And we're going to see, it's going to be seeing this surge south of Venice, all of this onshore flow. That's really going to be increasing the surge potential here across these areas. And not only that, but we also have to look at this here as this kind of wraps around, pushing some of this water here into the coastline as well. It's just interesting seeing some of this come from the due west end, even here as well. Probably getting a good bit of surge here right around Punta Gorda, Florida. Probably starting to pick up some surge there on that bay there as well. All this water getting pushed here up Charlotte Harbor and into the bay there. So really the worst of the surge is probably in this zone, I would say, is where some of the worst of the storm surge is happening. Yeah, it's crazy, Dan. I used to live in Miami, Florida, and actually was able to stand outside in the eye of Hurricane Katrina. Obviously, it was only a Category 1 when it came over South Florida, but it actually had that calm center of the storm where you're able to be outside for about 10-15 minutes before the winds just whipped in from the east side there when it came over us. So it is a really eerie situation that you can have there with those calm winds. So again, yeah, Sarasota basically is just now, but you can see even this little push of moisture right here, right over Sarasota there. So they're about to get blasted here with the back side of this eye wall, which I'm sure, let's take a look at some of these velocities. I'm sure we're seeing some, oh yeah, look at this right here. See this basically, this area, you can see these strong winds here. And most of this area here from Memphis, Bradenton, that's all going to be moving east and coming in. And so yeah, these are all sustained hurricane force winds here. At least 80, some places 90 miles per hour. Does kind of fluctuate. So yeah, there's 91. So a little bit of a calm here right now, like you said, for Sarasota. You know, look at that. You could actually see 2.2 miles per hour just off to the west of Sarasota. And then you come here and you're talking, you know, again, there are those 100 mile per hour winds, that onshore flow there that we were just talking about now, just off to the east of Sarasota. So the worst of the winds starting to make their way here again. This is just west of Zolfo Springs, Alachua, Bowling Green. Bowling Green, these winds eventually might make it up in that region. They will eventually, these 100-mile-per-hour winds that we're seeing, these are going to eventually wrap around and actually come into Greater Sunset over toward Ruskin later this evening. So that's basically what we have, and we've got these winds here kind of coming counterclockwise like that. So we've got these winds kind of moving off to the north coming in, and then obviously the whole storm is tracking off to the east-northeast at about 15 miles per hour. Yeah, Austin and Alley, there, yes, so excellent point. So we are seeing the water actually moving out of Tampa Bay with that northeasterly wind, which is actually pulling the water out of Tampa Bay and bringing it and wrapping it around. That's why we've seen that intense storm surge flooding. So for Tampa Bay, this is a huge win, in all honesty, because if this storm had been even another 20 miles north, it would have been that onshore flow of the winds there in Tampa Bay and been devastating. Now, it is interesting, I think, like I had mentioned earlier, you've got all this water kind of flowing down and then flowing, wrapping back around. So you have really a dual threat there. That's why we're seeing that in projected of 10 to 15 foot storm surge, because you've got the water that's basically being pushed in, and then you have water from the north being pulled down and wrapped back around and then pushed in. So that's why you get these huge storm surges in these powerful hurricanes, because you've got all this water piling up in a single localized area, sometimes 10 miles across, which can cause that devastating storm surge like we're seeing down here south of Sarasota. Down here you can see all this onshore flow, and I think we're going to really start to see a lot of flooding and storm surge as this kind of fills up, because basically what's going to happen here is we've got this onshore flow pushing up against the water, so probably seeing a good bit, I'm sure, of storm surge in this area, and then it's got to go somewhere, so it's got to come north. I mean, and some of it will kind of come back to the south, but huge push of winds here, and over toward Venice. All of this is onshore flow. All of this is that storm surge coming in. And obviously the closer that you get to the eye, which is why up here kind of near Venice is likely, because where some of that worst storm surge is, because our eye is, again, basically right here is where the eye is. So really from Osprey south, Osprey's probably getting hammered with some storm surge as well right now, I'm sure. All right, let's take a look at this clip here from Josh Morganman. This is what we were talking about. This is inside of the eye of Milton there. This is from Storm Chaser Josh Morganman on Twitter. He just posted this. So yeah, you can see like literally no wind at all. absolutely no wind. Look at those palm trees, just completely still. And you can look up and you can basically right in this area is where that clearish, obviously it's not completely cloud free because we don't have that clear eye, but you could definitely see lighter clouds, and off in the distance you can see those clouds just swirling around. So it is really quite an unbelievable feeling to be able to go and stand out there in the eye or the center of the hurricane. But you know, with as fast as Milton's moving at about 15 to 17 miles per hour, it's not going to last super long there in Sarasota. We can already see it. The western side of that heavy band of precipitation starting to come ashore there. So really something else there. Here's Reed Timmer video that he posted. Man, that's intense. Man, wow. Yeah, so this is Reed Timmer's video here that you're seeing but basically getting right into the core of the storm there earlier this evening that he posted there. So really some insane stuff out there. This is kind of cool. Look at this. This is from the Hurricane Hunters. That was from Milton the earlier, showing that Coliseum Stadium effect inside of it. So that was earlier today. That was 7 hours ago. So really impressive stuff that we're seeing here. Let's take a look real quick. I do want to get a quick update. See, I'm sure we're getting some more power outages reported. 661. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we are up to 779,000 power outages here across Florida. We can see Pinellas County, almost half the county is now out, over 200,000. Down here into Manatee County, we're 66,000, which is kind of surprising. I would figure it'd be worse, but this northern side, I'm telling you, that northern side of the eye wall and the storm really is definitely intense. Obviously, the surge down here is worse down here further south toward Sarasota County and Charlotte County, but the winds overall are definitely worse on the northern side of the hurricane this evening. So again, nearly 800,000 people now reported without power here in Florida. Nearly 800,000 people. All right, let's kind of come back. Let's take a live look here at the radar here again. For those of you just joining the live stream this evening, thank you so much for tuning in here on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. If you're new, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button for me. Like the video, share it with a friend. I know there are a lot of live streams out there that you could be watching, but I do appreciate you taking the time to join us here on our Extreme Weather Videos live stream as we're breaking down the landfall and impacts here across Florida this evening. And we'll be having continuing coverage of Hurricane Milton all evening long. Again, it has come ashore now as a major Category 3 hurricane, sustained winds of 120 miles per hour here in the Sarasota, Florida area. And we're also seeing some devastating storm surge here just south of Sarasota, Florida, from the Gulf Gates Estates area down toward Venice, over toward Port Charlotte, and even here, I'm sure, what is this, near Cape Coral and some of these outer band islands, I'm sure, are getting absolutely pounded right now with some storm surge as well. But look at this this intensity coming through Brandon, Plant City, Lakeland, really this whole stretch of the I-75, 275 here, wrapping around I-4 going up towards Orlando. Absolutely intense right now. And the rainfall, I want to see this. Oh yeah, we're definitely starting to pick up on the rainfall here. We're looking at many places now here over toward Plant City, Lakeland. We're getting close to 8 inches. Down here in the St. Petersburg area, we're now getting close to a foot of rain coming in here on the western side of St. Pete over toward Gulfport. St. Pete Beach showing about radar estimated 14 inches of rain so far, and it's still coming down. Still coming down. Absolutely gonna have some unbelievable historic flooding, I'm sure, going on. And that's why we have all these flash flood warnings for these areas that are going on. Flash flood warning, Polk County, flash flooding, and this continues here all the way till 10:45 this evening. We've got this one here for Flagler, Putnam, and St. Johns County. That continues here till 9:15 this evening. Brevard, Lake, Orange, Osceola, Seminole, and Volusia County flash flood warning. This goes until 9:45. So I mean, literally, we've just got warnings, flash flood warnings, just lined up here, and you can see a good reason why. Look at these totals that we're seeing offshore: 14, 15 inches of rainfall. So yeah, we were actually out in Helene. We actually did go chase Hurricane Helene down in South Georgia. I wasn't able to get all the way to the coast because I had to work, but I was able to basically get down there right as it was making landfall. Unfortunately, this one here with Milton, I was not able to get out. So that's why I'm doing the live stream here, and I'm not actually there down in Florida. But I do know quite a few people who are storm chasing down there, like Reed Timmer, Brett Adair. I mean, a lot of folks are down there doing those things. Let's see here. I bet our numbers are continuing to climb. Yep. So power outages just cracked the 800,000 mark as of 8:56 p.m. 8:04 in Florida. So, which this number I'm sure is just gonna. We haven't even really gotten into. I mean, Orange County, we're starting to see some power outages. About 14,000 customers there in Orange County, and Seminole only 6,000. So that's where the Orlando area is. But again, Pinellas County over 200,000. Hillsborough County now 129,000. So it is going to be a long evening there. A very long evening here across Florida. We've got a lot of impacts still to come. We should be getting a, I think we just got a we should be getting it. Usually NHC is putting out hourly updates, so they should have just put out an update here at 9 p.m. Let's see if here we go. 9 o'clock update. All right, so 9 o'clock update. Life-threatening storm surge, extreme winds, flash flooding continue as Milton moves inland. A sustained wind of 64 miles per hour, gust of 93 reported at Albert Whited Airport in St. Pete. Sustained wind of 78 and a gust of 100 reported at a weather flow station at Edgemont Channel. 73 gust of 102 at Skyway Fishing Pier. So again, we're seeing these reports coming in across the west central portion of Florida. So maximum sustained winds have come down. As of 9 o'clock, we're down to 115 miles per hour, and it is still moving east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Pressure now up to 956 millibars. So we are starting to see it begin to weaken now as it is moving inland across Florida. So still a Category 3 hurricane, though, with winds of 115 miles per hour at this time as it continues to move ashore here on the Florida west coast. And all these numerous flash flood warnings. I mean, Tampa right now, probably getting, 2 inches an hour? Close to that inch and a half an hour. Let's see here. Pulling in the data. If you're new here on our YouTube channel, thank you for joining this evening. Be sure to hop in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to get our 1 hour rainfall. What do you expect for projected path across the state for the center of the storm? Excellent question. Excellent question. Okay, let me come back to my reflectivity here. So, let me zoom out a little bit. Put my drawing tool on. So basically the center of the storm is right here, basically over the Sarasota area. It's moving off to the east-northeast. So I do believe that it will stay south, pretty well south of Orlando, in all honesty. I think it will kind of come up and probably head in this direction. We were expecting some of the models were showing the storm pretty much moving due east when it made landfall. That's still not out of the question. I think it will move more east than north, but I think it will gradually move north and kind of come out here near Satellite Beach is my guess, which would really take this area of precipitation and pretty much move it right up the I-4 corridor and all of that northern side of the storm. So pretty much places south of I-4, I think we'll see some of the worst winds. Maybe down Lakeland, Kissimmee, like Kissimmee might get some of those strong winds. And obviously we'll see the winds decrease over the next few hours. I don't think we're going to see 100-mile-per-hour winds super far inland. I think that risk is rapidly diminishing, but I do still think we'll see 70, 80-mile-per-hour winds a good ways inland as this does come ashore, and definitely hurricane force gusts likely all throughout the region there across Florida. So thanks for the question. All right, let's check back in on, see what's going on out there in the world of X. All right, let's check this out. This is Storm Chaser Aaron J. Jack here, showing storm surge there in Punta Gorda, Florida, which we saw earlier.
These pools right here, 20 minutes ago I had no water, no grass right here. Water's come up. It's flooding. Punta Gorda, Florida, getting flooded out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, I knew Venice Beach. This is some of the storm surge
Big time surge.
that we're seeing.
We are in the Gulf of Mexico now in Punta Gorda, Florida.
Wow.
Power flashes in the distance, getting hammered by 80 mile per hour plus gusts at times. Water's up to my knees. And I'm up above and on the sidewalk, a little bit higher up. Big time storm surge problems in Punta Gorda, Florida right now. Oh, sparks, power flash.
Yeah,
Big
so
problems here.
that's what we say.
We're surrounded on all sides. Oh, another big power flash, sparks.
Yeah, man, that's some intense storm surge there. You can see it's
We are
about
about
halfway up that
at least
stop sign.
6 feet above sea level here, and the water's coming up to over my knees right here. Not good in Punta Gorda, Florida, guys.
Wow. So that's what's going on there in Punta Gorda, Florida. These are a lot of folks here. Eric Fox. Wow. This is Jim Cantori, Port Charlotte. Wow. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah, so that's parking garage there. That's pretty intense. And again, just still seeing some of these tornadoes from earlier. That's just it has been an absolute unreal day, guys. And it just continues here, as we can see. Hurricane Milton continuing to move on shore, West Coast Florida, making landfall near Sarasota, Florida. Intense storm surge occurring right now across portions south of there from Venice Beach, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. Storm surge continuing to pile in, and it will continue to do so for the next couple of hours. So we could see that storm surge continue to rise there in the Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, Florida area. As long as this onshore flow here continues, we're going to see that water level continue to rise here. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where we've just got this onshore flow there right along the coast, man. You can see just onshore flow, pumping it right in there. Onshore flow right there. And then up here in Tampa, it's a different story up in Tampa. We've got that flow basically wrapping around coming from the north. And you got this here. You know. Sorry, my drawing's not the best there, but you get the idea. I'm not an artist. I'm a weatherman. And we are still keeping an eye on some of these like mesovortices here that could, you know, any one of these could briefly spin up a brief tornado here along the northern eye wall. There, just north of the eye wall area. Wow. This is definitely going to be a long night for folks in Florida. Making landfall here, 9:15. 9:15. All right, let's take a look here, see what our latest power outage tracker is. Earlier, as of 8:56, we were at 804,000. And folks, we have crossed the million mark. We are now at 1.1 million people in Florida now without power. Yeah, Dan mentions 5-inch per hour rainfall near St. Pete. Yeah, I can definitely believe that. I mean, look at this band of rainfall that is basically moving over. I mean, St. Pete, even over here to Mango, Florida, Progress Village, this whole area, Brandon, I mean, this whole swath, I'm sure, is 3 to 5 inches per hour of rain. So, and we've already seen what, over a foot of rain in the St. Pete area. I believe. I think we're, yeah, here St. Pete. Yeah, we're basically just now over a foot. We're approaching 13 inches. 13 inches of rainfall there in St. Pete. Tampa up here, not quite as much. Getting close to 8 inches of rain there in Tampa. Over here where Rob's at, he's also now basically getting to the 8-inch mark. But yeah, I think we're going to start to see some of these totals here really going up. Like there we go. There's a 14.28 just south of St. Pete, you know? So absolutely monstrous rainfall to continue this evening. Wow. All right, let's take another look here. So again, those of you that are just joining the live stream, quick update for everyone. Hurricane Milton makes landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. Winds at 115 miles per hour currently. We have seen rainfall over a foot in some places. And we're expecting more. Power outages now over 1.1 million people now without power in Florida. We've seen storm surge of over 5 feet across portions of Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Venice, south of Sarasota, as this onshore flow there continues here. So even though and that's the thing, everyone's getting different impacts from this, and that's what we were trying to warn people about, was the variety of the impacts that would come from Milton. Some people are getting the flooding rains. Some folks are getting the storm surge. Some folks are getting the tornadoes. Some folks are getting the hurricane force winds, right? So everyone is experiencing impacts from the storm, wide-ranging impacts pretty much across the entire peninsula of Florida today that we've seen. So, down here where the storm surge is happening, look at there's really no moisture, no rain on the south side of this, which is insane. We've got tropical storm force winds, but that just continued onshore flow is just causing massive storm surge problems here along the southwestern Florida coast this evening. Up here in the Tampa Bay region, we don't have the storm surge problem, thankfully, but we've got a different problem. We've got the flooding rains, we've got the hurricane force winds, all of those different things going on in the Tampa Bay region. Here on the east coast of Florida earlier, you can see all these storms that we have. We've had a huge tornado outbreak earlier this afternoon across eastern Florida. So really, this hurricane has brought every different kind of hazard with it throughout the day today, and it just continues to unfold. I mean, we're seeing these flash flood warnings now almost coming up here to the south side of Gainesville, Florida there. So, it is going to be a long night for our friends down there in Florida. So, long night. All right. I am going to just step away for a minute, leave you guys with a radar. I'm going to go grab a drink, and I will be right back. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. I am back. Thank you for allowing me to take that short break. So, Milton, still a Category 3, 1.1 million people across Florida already without power this evening. And continues to just unleash its wrath across the state. We've had tornadoes. We've had storm surge down further south, which continues. And the flooding rain. Actually, Dan, I did find some water, but I also found a Coke. So, yeah, I guess tonight's live stream is brought to you by Coke. We need to, Dan, we need to set up kind of like we did Stormcast a while back, and we can have you hop on the live stream and stuff like that. Phone a friend. Kind of zoom in. I'm not sure if Rob is still here with us or not. I highly doubt it. He's probably lost power by now, but I really hope he'll be okay. He evacuated out of Brandon over toward the Lakeland area, I believe. Yeah, we could basically do a Zoom call and just have your camera on the video, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we can do that. I can just add an application window. Yeah. So let's get together and we'll definitely set that up. Definitely set that up. All right, let's take a look at the latest and greatest here. I bet we're at 1.2 now, folks. 1.2 million people here without power this evening. On our power outage tracker map here, we can see here some of these areas really starting to get hit. Manatee County now, 161 out of 260,000 out. 160,000 out of 300,000 out in Sarasota. Pinellas County, 265,000. I'm surprised there's not more, in all honesty. Again, this is a little bit delayed, but not much. Pasco County, Hernando County, 34,000. 24,000. Starting to see a few more outages here across the center of the state. And down here where that storm surge is coming in, like Lee County, Charlotte County. Starting to see a little bit more as well. Yeah, definitely. We'll plan on that for sure. All right, let's see if we've got. So 1.2 million without power. Let's see if I can see anything interesting. All right, let's check out this video here from Reed Timmer of the storm surge in Venice. Wow. Yeah. It's literally up past their waist there.
Bro, it's coming! That is coming! Here it comes! Ah! It's got deep!
Man.
Yep, there it is! That's done! That's coming! That's coming! It'll suck you out! Let's get out of here!
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It gets very dark, very deep as you get a little very scary too, right? You can hear the wave action. Oh, just hit my beanbag. Oh!
These guys are something else, man.
Watch the steps! Watch the steps! Here we go!
Man, they gotta get out of there, man. That's a little too intense for my liking there, for sure. I don't know if I would have my car sitting in 2 feet of storm surge. You know, I don't think I would let my car sit in 2 feet of storm surge.
Be careful!
So, a lot to take in, folks. A lot to take in. Again, as of 9 o'clock, still Category 3 storm, maximum sustained winds, 115 miles per hour. Still moving east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. Pressure at 956. We'll be getting another update here from the National Hurricane Center at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. So here's the latest satellite picture of Milton, and you can see this huge, intense convection pretty much right over downtown Tampa right now. And that's starting to slowly move off to the east as well. And all this is going to be heading up over toward the Lakeland, Florida area. Plant City, been in St. Pete this evening, and it's basically just going to head right at that I-4 corridor as it now continues to move on shore. Still getting a ton of onshore flow down here, down south, where we're seeing all that storm surge on the southern side of the storm. In Plant City, Lakeland, all these storms. It's definitely broadened out. The center of circulation is broad. Obviously, really hard to really make out where that exact center of circulation is, but it's probably, if I would have to guess, it might be just kind of basically due south of the radar. I think our center of circulation is basically, oh, that's really hard to tell. I think it's here just kind of on the east-northeast side here of Sarasota would be relatively where the center of circulation is, kind of somewhere in there. Moved away from Florida 25 years ago. Don't miss the hurricanes. Yeah, it's been 15 years for me since I lived in Florida as a resident. I went to college in Florida. That was 10 years ago. I was in college, actually in Clearwater, Florida is where I went to college down here. So I'm very familiar with this area because I went to college here in Clearwater, and then did a lot in Largo. I had some friends that would commute from St. Pete, went over to Tampa, did the things that you would do in Tampa, in that area. So it is a nice place. Definitely many drives. I actually chased Tropical Storm Isaac right here on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge on Fox News back in 2012. Man, so that was like 12 years ago. And did an interview on Fox News with Harris Faulkner covering Tropical Storm Isaac when the I think it was the Republican National Convention was supposed to be going on in Tampa, and they actually ended up delaying it a day. So I have a lot of good memories down here in Tampa Bay for sure. In the Tampa Bay region. Let's take a look at some of these wind speeds. I'm curious to see what some of our wind speeds are now that we're seeing. Oh yeah, so we're seeing, still 72 mile per hour winds. I mean, up here in Plant City right now, we're talking about 83 miles per hour right now in Plant City. Over in Lakeland, we're in the 60-ish range. But some of these places are still showing, obviously this isn't right at the ground level, just above, but still 91 there. Still some 70s down here. 70s down there. See, our center of our storm is basically, that's probably, the center of the storm is basically right in here. I think somewhere in here. So, I don't even know if it's that far north. It might be. It's gotten more broad. That's probably about where it is. Here, kind of east-northeast of Sarasota would be where the center of the storm would be right about now. Yeah. Probably right in that area. But look at some of these winds out here still offshore. This is what's causing all that surge down here, all these 60, 70 mile per hour winds that are blowing up. Man, let me go back to this real quick. Look at the almost like there's just a surge of convective activity here on those cloud tops. You can see those bright gray colors kind of surging now as we have that midnight surge of tropical moisture. And that's what we've been seeing here with these rainfall totals across the Tampa Bay region. And I think we're going to be starting to see some flash flood emergencies going out in this area, which I actually think they did. Yeah, look at this. Between 4 and 10 inches of rain has already fallen. This was at 7:43. So, I mean, this is just unbelievable. The flooding, the flooding that's going to be going on down here in the greater Tampa Bay area. It's been hours now that there's these. I've been on the air now for, I don't know how long have we been on the air for. We're coming up on 2 hours. We are coming up on 2 hours. So, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to join our YouTube live stream. That's where we've got a conversation kind of going on. We'd love to have you join us over on our YouTube channel this evening. Also, if you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in this evening. Go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It literally takes you like 2 seconds to do it. Also, make sure you've got notifications turned on. Would love to know where you guys are watching from and get to talk with you guys, interact with you guys. But wow. Yeah, I mean, that intense rainfall literally basically perfectly matches up with the satellite imagery that we're seeing, this infrared satellite imagery. There's going to be... I don't even want to imagine what daylight's going to look like tomorrow morning down there. Whew. It is going to be an absolute mess. Absolute mess down there. So we're starting to see those sustained tropical storm force winds continuing to move inland across Florida, now reaching the Lake Worth area in Florida. And Venice, Florida, again, just continues to get hammered with the storm surge this evening. All right, so we now also have a flash flood emergency that continues for Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater, Florida. This is continuing till 2:30 a.m. 2:30 a.m. So that's what we were just talking about with this flash flood emergency. Right here, this thicker green shaded box here looks almost like a little baseball diamond home plate. That is where our flash flood emergency is in effect. And this is going to continue for another, 5 hours? It's just after 9:30. So yeah, we've got this basically for another 5 hours across this region. Oh my goodness, that's intense. That is intense, yes. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Dan, this flash flood emergency. with those rainfall rates. And I mean, so many places, again, let's just look over the last 3 hours. Look at this just in the last 3 hours. Let me pause this real quick. This is just in 3 hours. Look at some of these totals. I mean, 6 inches of rain in 3 hours, you know, and you can see that it's all just moving into this area, moving across Tampa Bay. All this is basically, you can see it moving inland, almost like a little intense supercell thunderstorm. These are just accumulation totals, and that's going to be coming into Tampa here pretty shortly. We'll start seeing these accumulations coming in. Oh, let me get to, sorry, let's go to our storm totals. Yeah, I mean, we have foot of rain. I mean, down here we're now over 14 inches of rain. Tampa, I mean, let me zoom in on, it's hard to get exact Tampa because of all the buildings. That's actually interesting. Here's a cool thing. When you're looking at this on radar, the reason this shows so little is because it's not able to pick up the ground because of all the buildings in Tampa. So you actually have to kind of come just outside of Tampa to be able to kind of get an estimate of what the rainfall totals are. So yeah, we're approaching 9 inches around Tampa. All right, copy that, Dan. We're almost at 9 inches of rain in Tampa. Down here in St. Pete, look at this. I mean, we're over 14, almost 14, just a little over 14 and a quarter inches of rainfall down there. And guess where all this rain is eventually headed? That's right. It's headed east-northeast, pretty much right up I-4. This is going to be a historic flooding event at this rate. We'll see. I think we'll all see more flash flood emergencies, potentially even further east, to include the Plant City and Lakeland area. Yep. They just issued, I'm pretty sure this is a new flash flood emergency that they just issued for that area. I literally was just talking about it. Flash flood emergency. No, that's just another flash flood warning. At least it's not showing up on here. Right now is the only flash flood emergency. Again, flash flood emergency, St. Pete, Tampa, Riverview, and Palmetto. Till 2:30 a.m. Seek higher ground now if you live in these areas, for sure. Life-threatening, flash flooding, low water crossing, small creeks, streams, urban areas, highways, streets, underpasses. Again, this is a particularly dangerous situation. You need to be seeking higher ground if you live in these areas. Man, absolute. It wasn't the storm surge that's getting Tampa. It's this flash flooding. And we've just got a slew of flash flood warnings all across, really from one side of Florida all the way to the other. Just because we know what's going on and what is still to come. I mean, just look at this intense rainfall coming in. Absolutely mind-boggling. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, let's take you back out here to the Twitter world. Downtown Fort Myers is underwater as storm surge impacts the area. So, once again, Fort Myers getting really hit with the storm surge this evening. Wow. Man. Just unbelievable. Roof ripped off of the Bank of America building in Bradenton, Florida. Yeah, you can see it there. Brandon Kopic. St. Pete, man. Wow. That is intense. It is definitely intense. So, Megan Greenwood, it's crazy how quickly all of this water is rising, and to think that there are areas flooded from Helene still, and now getting hammered yet again with more rainfall. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this, and really with these hurricanes, it's so hard to sometimes be able to understand all of the minute changes, how big of an impact that can have on an area, right? We knew there was going to be flooding rains. The forecast for really this area was 8 to 12 inches of rain. Well, we've already seen that, and it's not over yet, unfortunately. So let me take you back here, Megan. Thanks for the comment, by the way. This is from earlier. This is the rainfall potential. So again, we saw a wide area. We were expecting 8 to 12 inches, right? This orange area, 8 to 12 inches. Small area up here, 12 to 16 inches. Well, what's happened? We have this intense band of rainfall that's basically set up shop just north of the center of circulation, and it has just kind of parked itself here over the St. Pete, Tampa, Largo, Palmetto, those areas, because we have the bay right here, right? So all of that moisture from Tampa Bay is just getting sucked up into the storm and raining right back out on the same areas. So it's just an exasperated flooding situation that we have that's occurring here. Again, we're thankful that we're doing a storm surge, but if we get 20, 25, inches of rainfall in these areas, that's going to be almost as bad as having, 8 feet of storm surge, and we're going to be seeing absolutely historic flooding going on. Thankfully the bay is, was emptying out a little bit, so the water will have a place to drain, but still, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I want to go to, here we go. I want to see what some of our winds are showing here. Yeah, we're still talking 70 mile per hour winds in and around the Tampa Bay downtown area. Probably getting close to that. $75 over there. So flash flood emergency continues here again. For those of you that are just joining us, we've been kind of covering this unfolding situation across the greater Tampa Bay region with this flash flood emergency that we have in effect. And this is for Hillsborough, Manatee, and Pinellas counties here in Florida. And we can see this intense rainfall. I mean, 46 decibels, 46 dBz here. That's some intense rainfall. Some of these places 47. And just in the last hour, I want to look at our 1 hour accumulation. 2 inches of rain. So you can really see all this pink. This is all 2 inch per hour rainfall rates. Now coming here into the Brandon, Florida. It's slowly been migrating kind of east-northeast, this heavy band of precipitation that we've seen with these. And again, this is just radar estimated. There are some places we've seen reports where it's been closer to 3 to 4, even in some places possibly getting up to 5 inches per hour of rainfall. So really just unbelievable. And power outages continue. Let's take a look here at our power outage because it's been a little bit since we've checked in. So earlier this was at about 927. We were at 1.2 million. And if we refresh it now, we are at 1.3, 1,349,000 people across Florida without power. So that number continues to climb. Here across, you can really see West Central Florida absolutely getting hammered here as Milton continues to move ashore. We should be getting a 10 o'clock update here from the National Hurricane Center here. Just a minute. Let's refresh this. And let's come in here. And we should have a 10 p.m. update. All right. So 10 p.m. update, what we were just talking about. Yes, flash flood emergency in effect for the Tampa Bay area as it continues to move inland. We've seen a sustained wind of 69 miles per hour and a gust up to 102 miles per hour reported at the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. Sustained winds of 86, gust of 105 reported there at Edgemont Channel. 74 gusting up to 98 in Middle Tampa Bay. A gust of 91 in Bartow County, Florida. So that is the latest update. Look at this. Albert Whitted Airport, St. Pete, 16.61 inches of rain so far today. literally almost a foot and a half of rain. Literally almost a foot and a half of rain. Yeah, exactly. And that's, Megan, you make a great point there. We can't give exact amounts. And that's why these ranges on these forecasts, you know, that's what they are. They're ranges, you know. And they do constantly change, right? These ranges. But I think the key thing that we need to know is, look at this. This is the risk of flash flooding, obviously. High risk, like we were just talking about, pretty much all along the I-4 corridor and north. That's really all you need to know, right? It doesn't matter what the amount is. If you know that you have a high risk of flash flooding in your area, greater than 70% chance of rain, that's just a recipe for disaster. And this is similar to, you know, what we saw with Hurricane Helene now just a little over a week and a half ago, with this high risk of flash flooding there in the mountains and through the Carolinas and eastern Georgia. And you know, even here where I'm at in Stone Mountain, Georgia, we got almost a foot of rain. We got like, I think like 11.7 inches of rain here in Stone Mountain. So these rainfall estimates are so tricky to forecast. So, and I think obviously look at all the rain here. Let me flip back over here to the radar. Look at all the rain here still to come. Now obviously the heavy band of rain still going on, and even out here, out over the ocean, we still have a ton of moderate rainfall to come. And you know, it's not really it is they are forecasting it was forecasted for Milton to slow down, and I think we've been seeing a little bit of that since landfall. You have the friction of the storm against land, so typically it can slow down. We also have the interaction there with the frontal boundary and the trough there to its north. I think that's another reason why we continued to see that east-northeastward motion, and we haven't seen it, you know, shoot off over to the east. So, yeah, exactly. These hurricanes do have a mind of their own. They really do. So, excellent points being made by everyone. But we've got about an hour here until we get our full package 11 p.m. advisory update this evening. Yeah, exactly. Megan, where are you watching from? Are you watching here from Georgia, or are you down in Florida? Oh, here is what we were talking about earlier. Let's look at this here. Watching from Ohio. Oh, awesome. Take a look at this video here. This is
Sucked out by Milton, which means
the water being sucked out of Tampa Bay.
our light's not bright enough to see how far out it goes, but I don't see any water for as far as I can see. So this is Tampa Bay. Look at this. All the water has run out of the bay. We just watched over here. Louise is shooting. We're along Bayshore Boulevard. Hopefully you can hear me. The water is gone. So
yeah,
sucked
that's
out
amazing.
Which we suspected was going to happen. Our light's not bright enough to see how far out it goes, but I don't see any water for as far as I can see.
And this is the latest in Punta Gorda, Florida. The surge still rising there. It's amazing that some of these places still have power. Well, they don't have, as much of as far as the winds go. So, but still, we've got a lot of crazy activity going on there in Punta Gorda. Yeah, definitely tropical storm force winds down there, but that's down in Punta Florida, Punta Gorda there. So, but again, I think the big story right now, going back to what we were talking about earlier there, Megan, is this flash flood emergency that continues here till 2:30 a.m. Like, it is Man, this is the worst time. I mean, there's never a good time, right? But it's the middle of the night. It's dark. You can't see anything. The power's out. All you can do is hear the roar of the wind, and probably hear the water lapping up against your door and different things like that. I really am praying that that folks in the Tampa, St. Pete, Palmetto, Clearwater area are able to get to some kind of higher ground, because I think we're going to be seeing a lot of flooded neighborhoods and businesses from this flash flood emergency. Obviously, the water can flow into an empty Tampa Bay, but it is going to take a while. Low-lying areas near canals and rivers and streams, stuff like that, are going to definitely be getting hit pretty hard here. I want to look at our... Yeah, you can just see... These amounts, just unbelievable. There we go, a little radar beam. But yeah, well over 14. I mean, down here, this is all going to be coming in. Yeah, that's over 16 inches. Again, these are just radar estimates, stuff like that radar estimate. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't even have the right screen on there. Sorry, guys. Looking at here at this flash flood emergency going on still. So many places 13 to 16 inches, really. .7 inches there just south of St. Pete.
So this is Tampa Bay. Look at this.
Yep.
All the water has run out of the bay. Look at this one up here. Louise is shooting.
There we go. All right, so let's see where we stand with our power outages here as of 10 o'clock. We are now over 1.5 million people now in Florida without power. 1,549,708 customers without power across Florida. Those linemen are definitely going to have their work cut out for them. Pasco County, just about a third of the county. Hillsborough County, over 200,000. Pinellas County, 328,000 people now, out of the 568,000. Manatee County, over half the county out. Basically all of Hardee County, Florida, is now out, which gets a little bit more rural. DeSoto over 4,000. Charlotte County 51,000. Wow. In Sarasota County, almost all of Sarasota, it's getting there. 200 of 300,000, 2/3 of Sarasota County without power here as of 10 o'clock. Man. If you're still here with us, drop a message in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Feel free to ask your questions. Leave a comment. This is definitely a intense hurricane. Oh, I did want to see here. I didn't see on their update. Did they still say it's 115 mile per hour winds? No, 110. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I didn't even get down this far. So as of 10 o'clock, it's finally down to a Category 2 hurricane. 110 mile per hour winds. Pressure's up a little bit more, up to 958. So still Category 2 here at just after 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Flash flood emergency continues till 2:30 a.m. across Tampa. We've got to find some flash flood emergency. A lot of posts, but I don't see any video, which is kind of interesting. I think someone would have posted something on it. Yeah, but not yet. It is moving. Milton is still moving at 16 miles per hour. So it was moving at 15 an hour ago. Now it's up to 16, but still east-northeast. They're at 16 miles per hour. Yeah, it was moving at 9 earlier, but again, it's slowly, not slowly, it's moving at a decent clip. Honestly, 16 miles per hour for a hurricane is a pretty good rate. I wouldn't say it's like super fast, but it's not slow. It's not like 8 or 9 miles per hour. It is, at least 16. So, yeah. I want to refresh this. See, just 10:06. Might be a few minutes till that updates there. All right, so cars in a hotel parking lot may start flooding soon. Water is definitely rising here. This is
Are you live streaming?
in
No,
Punta Gorda.
live stream's in the car.
Man, that's rough.
This is gonna go up. This will go up to my waist if I go out there. Out to the road. That's over our way. That's up to our waist out there on the road. The landscape's underwater.
Man. That's their hotel parking lot, man. Yeah, you can see the surge. It's just rolling in there in Punta Gorda. Check out this video from Jim Cantori. Yeah. That's just Intense, man. Wow. Scary. This was earlier downtown. Wow. Power flashes there. Man. Yeah. So that's what it's like right now. Unbelievable. Yeah, that Clewiston tornado from earlier just whew, that was something else. That was definitely something else. All right, let's take it back. Take a live look, see where we're at with our flash flood emergency here that is going on in the Tampa St. Pete area. Let's kind of dive into this a little bit. So we're still seeing this just absolutely intense rainfall from Tampa. It's starting to get a little bit lighter here over toward like Clearwater Beach, Indian Rocks Beach. Starting to see the intensity of the rainfall starting to taper off a little bit. At least that is good news. But still here, St. Pete, Tampa, over toward Fishhawk, Brandon, Florida, Plant City, west side of Lakeland, just absolutely getting completely dumped on. So we do have a new flash flood emergency, which just came out. This is a new flash flood emergency for Lakeland, Winter Haven, and Wesley Chapel. Again, new flash flood emergency now for Lakeland, Winter Haven, and Wesley Chapel. This goes until 4 a.m. 4 a.m. flash flood emergency. Second one of this storm. Now off to the east there for Lakeland, Winter Haven, and Wesley Chapel. So that's this area here. Wow. So we've still got the one for Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, Palmetto area till 2:30 a.m. and now a new one. So we have two flash flood emergencies going on. Unreal. So another 5 hours and 40 minutes on this guy. Doppler radar indicated thunderstorms. 8 to 12 inches of rain has fallen so far across those areas. Man. And just this nighttime flash flooding, just absolutely terrifying nighttime flash flooding. Well, we can actually start getting a better idea of where the center of circulation is again. Actually kind of make it out. It's basically right here. That's basically the center of circulation there. And again, north of that center of circulation is where all this flash flooding is occurring. Oh yeah, it is. It is the worst time for sure. All right, to my friends on Facebook, if there's still anyone on there, I know you got a lot on YouTube. Be sure to hop over to our YouTube stream because I'm having some issue, I think, with the Facebook stream. So probably just going to end the Facebook one. And you all should be able to catch the YouTube link there on our Facebook page. So be sure to check us out over on YouTube if you're watching this. YouTube's not having any, I'm not having any streaming issues with though. Yeah, praying for residents who are staying in the area that they have resources. Yeah, for sure. Definitely, Megan. That's really all we can do, you know, from this kind of distance. I'm really worried about, like I said, one of our team members here at Extreme Weather Videos, his name's Rob. And he lives in the Brandon, Florida area, and him and his family, I believe they evacuated further inland over toward Lakeland, so where this flash flood emergency is. So I'm not sure if they're at a hotel, if they're at, you know, some family's house or something like that, but definitely praying that he'll be okay. Praying for also for a good friend of mine, Zach, because he's also in that area. So it's going to be a long night, though. It is going to be a very long night all across Florida as this thing. Hopefully it'll pick up a little bit more speed. It is up to 16 miles per hour, so we're seeing it move inland and move across. But again, it's just such a big hurricane now compared to what it was, you know, 36 hours ago when it was north of Yucatan. It was just this little small hurricane, and now it's basically doubled in size as far as impacts go and stuff like that, you know. So 10:26 coming up on 10:30 here. Those of you just joining, welcome to our live stream this evening covering landfalling Hurricane Milton. If you're just tuning in, Hurricane Milton is now down to a Category 2 storm, winds sustained of 110 miles per hour, moving off to the east-northeast at about 16 miles per hour. That blue circle there that I have on the map, that is basically where the center of circulation of the storm is currently sitting. Where we've seen a lot of video and reports of storm surge on the south side of the storm down toward Venice Beach, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, those areas. absolutely getting slammed with the storm surge. We have 2 flash flood emergencies as well that we've been tracking. One across the Tampa, St. Pete, Palmetto, over toward Clearwater, Largo, those areas. That flash flood emergency goes until 2:30 a.m. And now we have a new second flash flood emergency that has been issued. This is for Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas Polk, and Sumter counties there, and that goes until 4 a.m. Eastern time there in West Central Florida. So we have 2 just this devastating, really, flash flooding that is ongoing or about to be ongoing, really, in this area, this whole section here where we've seen this. I mean, we're talking 2, 3, 4 inch per hour rainfall rates across much of this area. So excellent question, Megan. Thank you for the question. So Megan's asking over here, this is the first I've really paid attention to the impacts of it. Unfamiliar with weather lingo and what categories are hurricanes. What is allowed it to go from a Cat 5 to a Cat 2? So there are 5 different categories of hurricanes on the Saffir-Simpson scale. And it's based on wind speed, right? And wind speed directly correlated to, typically correlates with the pressure of the storm. So as that pressure gradient gets tighter and the pressure drops, the winds increase. Hurricanes need a couple different ingredients to be able to form and to be able to go from a Cat 1, say, to a Cat 5, like we saw with Milton, where it literally underwent rapid intensification and went from a Category 1 storm all the way up to a Category 5 storm in under 24 hours. Did it in about 18 hours. And now, obviously, that was what was over the warm, moist water. It didn't have any land interaction, no friction, no wind shear to talk about, or any dry air entrainment or anything of that nature. And that's honestly why really the southern side of this hurricane doesn't have moisture, is because it's basically been sucking in dry air over the course of really the last 18 hours or so. Let me come back over here and I will kind of show you what we're talking about here as far as dry air. Let me get my chart here. All right, so this here, let me go on a little bit more of a bigger view. Let's go to the regional sector. So we can see here is Milton, and the greens here obviously indicate moist air, and then these yellows, and especially the red, this is dry air. And if you notice right here on the southwest side of the storm, there's kind of that, it almost looks like an arrow of yellow kind of coming in. That's that dry air, and that's being pulled into the storm, which has kind of caused the southern side of the hurricane to basically dry out, right, and not have any moisture. But obviously the winds are still there, right? So that is one thing that's been weakening Milton. The other thing is obviously the land interaction. Once a hurricane moves over land, the center of the storm needs warm, moist air that it will get over a large body of water like the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean. that kind of helps feed and fuel. It's fuel for the storm, provides instability, and helps those thunderstorms around the core of the storm to be able to grow and develop. So that's kind of what causes a hurricane to go from a 1 to a 5, or in this case now from a 5 down to a 2. So as it continues to have that land interaction, it will continue to weaken over time. So hopefully that answers your question. If it did, be sure to mash that like button here on YouTube, and we'll appreciate that. So, but that's kind of what we're seeing here with Milton as it's moving off to east. And it's been interesting, if you look really even just at the last frame, you can kind of see a surge of low level water vapor. See what the mid-level is looking like. Mid-level's kind of surging a little bit as well. Yeah, definitely. Dry air and land definitely will weaken hurricane. Also mountains, wind shear is a big thing, which will basically shear off the top, the thunderstorm cloud tops of a hurricane. It shears it off away from the center of the storm and disrupts the circulation of a hurricane. And that's really what we have here. We've got a lot of upper level wind shear. Let me see if I can go to... We've got a lot of upper level wind shear kind of coming from out of the north, which has been knocking off some of those cloud tops, and then the dry air that's been sucked in from the south and west. So it's kind of at a 1-2 punch, and obviously now it's over land as well, so it's had land interaction as well. But still, just a unbelievable amount of moisture left to be dumped out here, basically over Florida this evening and into the morning tomorrow. So, all right, let's check our power outages here. It's just after 10:30 Eastern. Power outage tracker. We were at 1,549,708 earlier at 10:06. Let's see what we're at now. Now we are up to 1,649,000. So just in about those 20 minutes, this is up to 10:27. We've lost another 100,000 customers. Another 100,000. So we are almost 1.75 million people across Florida without power. So yeah, you can see here are the providers and the number out. Duke Energy provides almost 2 million, and over 500,000 from Duke Energy are out. Florida Power and Light, again, over 500,000 there are out. And then some of these other electric providers here. Tampa Electric, 237,000 are out. So there's some different providers. So pretty amazing seeing this here. 1.6 million people without power now across Florida. So you can see the darker shading red means more people. So basically all of Hardee County's out. And then this West Coast, Citrus County getting some more power outages. Hernando County, 45,000. Pasco County, 100,000. Hillsborough County, 220. Pinellas County, 367. Manatee County, 190 of 260. Sarasota County, 200,000. So, absolutely record-breaking power outages. Starting to see more power outages here, even in Polk County, 48,000. So we're seeing these outages spread further east as the storm continues to march inland. Highlands County, 18,000. So that's the latest on the power outages. All right, I am going to step away here just for a few minutes. Stay with us. A lot more coverage to come here this evening on Extreme Weather Videos. right, good evening, everyone. I am back. So, thank you for allowing me to take that break. So, we should be getting the 11 p.m. advisory here pretty soon. We're still tracking these 2 flash flood emergencies that we have across Florida. So we have one that is here in the Tampa area. This is for like Tampa, St. Pete, over toward Largo. That goes till 2:30 a.m. And then we have another one off to the east here. That is till 4 a.m. So we have these 2 flash flood emergencies. Thankfully, we're starting to see, especially here across the western portions, the intensity of the rainfall across places like St. Pete. We're starting to see that rainfall start to slowly die down here in St. Pete. We've gotten, probably thus far over probably 15 inches of rain, I'd say. I know at the airport they said it was over 16 inches of rain. So let's see here if it has. Storm total. There we go. See, I mean, down here near St. Pete, we got over 15 inches of rain, especially on the south side of St. Pete. Some places looks like closer to 16 to 17 inches of rain there. So, I mean, a huge swath here of a foot. Anywhere you see this blue shading is all a foot of rain. About 11, 12 inches of rain. So, really, Plant City up here toward Kathleen. Over here toward Brandon, Florida, a foot of rain. Tampa area, so many places. Down toward Pinellas Park, St. Pete, South High Point, even over here toward the Largo, Florida, south of Clearwater, east of Clearwater, Safety Harbor, roughly. I mean, this huge area here of just absolutely tremendous rainfall that we've seen this evening. And it's still raining. Not the same rate. We're seeing now the heaviest rain here across the Lakeland, Plant City, Willow Oak, Mulberry, Gibsonia, Crystal Springs, over toward Polk City. That's where we're starting to see some of this heaviest rainfall. So, all right, we're here just about 10 minutes away from our 11 o'clock advisory. Let's take a look at some of the latest video coming out of the area here. Let's take a look. So this is storm surge in Venice, Florida. Wow, yeah, absolutely insane there. You can see some of these buildings, like that car there is just, it's all the way up to the rear view mirror. So we're talking at least probably 4 or 5 feet at whatever height they're at there, you know. Venice Bay, you know. Absolutely insane. Different things there that we're seeing. The birds stuck in the eye of Milton. That is really something else there. So it's been a long day. Interestingly enough, the other thing that happened was we had 136 tornado warnings today across Florida in relation to Hurricane Milton. 136. That is an absolutely insane number of tornado warnings. Just absolutely insane. And we have 1.7 million people across Florida without power right now. So much. This year, I'm sure by tomorrow morning, I'm not going to stay on here live much past 11. I've been going already over 2 hours, I think. Something like that. I started at 8. So yeah, we're coming up on 3 hours that I've been doing this nonstop. So we'll probably go till a little bit past 11 o'clock tonight. And then I will do another live stream tomorrow, just kind of recap, go over everything. I'm sure we'll start seeing what daylight has and stuff like that. So tomorrow evening I'll definitely try and hop on here again and do another recap for everyone of Hurricane Milton. Let's see. Okay, so we have the 11 p.m. advisory. The 11 p.m. advisory is in. Ding, ding, ding. So it is now down to 105 mile per hour hurricane. So still a category 2 as of 11 p.m. this evening. Pressure is up to 960 millibars. And it is still moving off to the east-northeast at 16 miles per hour. So large area life-threatening storm surge is occurring. We've seen that there across portions of the west central coast of Florida and southwest Florida. And these water levels, they're saying, will remain elevated through Thursday morning. We're seeing that hurricane force winds and that heavy rainfall and that flash flooding, right? So people have got a long night ahead of them going through this. Here is the latest forecast cone. So we're expecting it to continue moving up to the northeast. That's at 11 o'clock. And this will be by early tomorrow. And then by tomorrow evening, it's well out to sea. Still has a hurricane, though. And then it takes on extra tropical characteristics, expected to stay south of Bermuda and basically start dissipating later this weekend. So hurricane warnings still remain in effect on the west coast and the east coast. Tropical storm warnings all the way up through coastal South Carolina. So look at this wind field. Look how many areas are experiencing those tropical storm winds. Pretty much almost all of Florida. Absolutely unbelievable. Surge forecast 9 to 13 feet there from Anna Maria Island down to Boca Grande there, including Charlotte Harbor of 8 to 12 feet. And then from there down to Bonita Beach, 8 to 12 feet. And then further south, 5 to 8 feet. And 3 to 5 feet. And then here on the East Coast, still 3 to 5 feet. We can see we are going to be seeing that onshore flow late overnight tonight. So we could see some storm surge all the way up and down this East Coast here as well. So definitely a huge storm surge still happening at this time. Definitely a huge storm surge. We can look at the wind history. You can see here the hurricane force winds, they're coming ashore, coming up toward the Orlando area. And this tropical storm force, look how it just ballooned once it got here in southeastern Gulf of Mexico. And this wind field, the tropical storm force winds, just absolutely have exploded as well. And the other thing that absolutely just went nuts was the tornado reports. 27 tornado reports today here across Florida. Look at this. 27. Let me zoom in on this for you. So you can see all these red dots here on this map. These are all tornado reports from today. So 27 tornado reports, 12 wind damage, giving a total of 39 there just from that. So we can see here, Lee County, Florida. This is going in timeline. Tornado damage, multiple reports with tornado, Lake Okeechobee. And obviously some of these reports are, in a sense, duplicate reports. You can look at the time, 1613, 1615, 1620. But some of them are 1645. Highlands County, large wedge tornado, Placid Lakes. That was that wedge tornado there. Absolutely unbelievable. Dixie Ranch Acres, Okeechobee County, St. Lucie County, a ton there in St. Lucie County. Indian River County, Martin County, more in St. Lucie, and even over in Brevard County. So there's going to be a lot to take in here. Really, the next the next 8 to 10 hours. So, but that's the update. Still Category 2 hurricane moving across Florida. Flash flood emergencies continue across Tampa and Lakeland area, with just historic rainfall still falling across the I-4 corridor, and that will continue moving up through the evening. So it is definitely going to be a long night. So thank you everyone for joining me this evening. I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream for now, and we'll be back here tomorrow night with more coverage of Hurricane Milton. It's been a long night. So. But I do appreciate everyone joining me this evening. Really, again, just from everyone here to the Extreme Weather Videos team, we're hoping for the best here, praying for minimal loss of life. The people are taking these warnings seriously, especially these flash flood emergencies, that they're getting to higher ground and keeping themselves safe and out of any dangerous situations as best that they can. So, but we'll definitely do another live stream tomorrow evening after I get home from work, and kind of see what the damage is and go from there. But really praying for everyone across Central Florida this evening. Make sure if when you are able to get in contact with people that you do so, let them know that you're okay. If you're in Central Florida, because we're all praying for you and hoping that you guys will be all right down there, especially with the flooding situation and the storm surge there in Venice and Port Charlotte and those areas. It's still got a couple more hours, really. Unfortunately, that surge is just going to continue piling up there down in South Central and Southwest Florida there as well. So, but I'll leave you guys with a live look of the radar, and I will see you guys tomorrow evening here on Extreme Weather Videos. As always, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we'll catch you guys on the next live stream. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and for supporting everything that we're doing here at Extreme Weather Videos. We will catch you on our next live stream.